When we talk about tech, a lot of people may assume that we're talking about whether or not your car meets the rules for a specific class. And while the tech inspectors can certainly help you with that, the primary thing that we're concerned about is whether your car is safe to go on track. And what we mean is that systems, your brakes, your tires, your suspension, your seat belts, all of those controls are good so that when you do get there, whatever class you're running in, you're safe and you're ready to go. So the best way to make sure that you're prepared to go through tech is to learn beforehand what is going to be checked once you do get there. These will be outlined in whichever rule book you're using, whether it's a solo rule book, whether it's a track event, or whether it's a road race. And you want to understand those systems so that before you get to tech and before a tech person gets to your car and looks at it, you've checked it so there's no nervousness about whether or not the car is actually going to pass. So today we're just going to talk about autocross and track events. One of the first things you want to make sure of on your car when you're checking it out and when it comes to tech is number one, that it's clean. Clean isn't necessarily a safety thing, but can help you and the tech inspectors quickly determine whether or not your car is ready, what they're looking at, what might have gone wrong since the last time it was looked at, and what things may be about to go wrong. So make sure that you bring a clean, fresh car to tech so that it's easy to check. In terms of systems, a lot of events you go to are going to have a tech sheet that you're probably going to fill out before you get to tech to help out, and that can be your guide. Usually it goes right with the rule book, and you're going to be looking at things like tie rod ends and ball joints when it comes to suspension, making sure the suspension is tight, making sure there's no play in any of those parts. You're also going to want to look at your brakes. In the shop, that means looking at your brake pad thickness, making sure you've got enough brake pad to get through the event, making sure that your fluid is fresh if need be, so that you don't boil it and so that it's not failing while you're on track or on course. And at the event, they're going to be checking your brake pedal height to make sure that that pedal is stiff, that it's got good feedback, that it's not soft, that there's not any air in the lines. They're going to look at seat belts inside the car, making sure all the latching mechanisms are good, making sure if it's a street car with what we call an inertia retractor, that inertia retractor is going well. Under the hood of your car, what tech inspectors are going to check is the condition and the operation of the things that are under your hood. So what that means is looking at the battery, making sure that it's secure, that it's tied down. There's a cover on the positive terminal so that there's not as much danger of any kind of contact or arcing. We're going to look at the throttle return, making sure there's good response, that if something happens and your foot comes off that throttle, that it's not sticking. We're going to look at under your car for the general condition. We're going to check for things like leaks to make sure that if there is any damage there that could cause an imminent problem on course, we're on top of it before you get out there. Once the safety stuff is done, there is one other thing that's not specific vehicle safety, but certainly is on course safety, and that is being able to identify the car. And so you're going to want to have good numbers on the car that are easily readable by course workers so they can radio in case you've had a problem, whether that's out on track, whether it's on an autocross course. So you're going to want to read those rules, see what you need in terms of numbers and class letters, make sure that they're on, good, and visible. And in an event like this at a national tour, whether it's autocross or time trials, you're going to be also looking at having some other decals on, windshield banners, other event stickers and stuff like that. We're going to also look at your safety gear. In a time trial or a track night or an autocross, that primarily means your helmet. And what we're going to check there is we're going to look at the certification on it, make sure it's up to date and of the most recent safety standards that are required. We're also going to check it for marks on it, for damage to the lining. We want to make sure that helmet is in good condition and ready to go when you're on course. That's really how to get through tech without much drama. The work is done before you get to tech. You check out those things that are listed in the rule book that you want to make sure of so that you know your car before they get to know your car.